Зайди, пожалуйста, в чат, я сейчас пару слов скажу. Ой, в эту трансляцию. Вы все-таки камеру подключили на трансляцию.
Good afternoon. Dear students, please come to London classroom. It will be guest lecture.
Зарина. Прием. Как слышно? А если будет лектор вот так говорить? Хорошо?
Там даже вот то, что с ресепшена говорили.
Классно. Да. Нет, вот этот я подключил к трансляции. Знаете, работает.
Dear students, please come to London classroom. Good afternoon, dear students, please come to London classroom. It will be guest lecture at 12 p.m. We would like to invite all of you to London classroom, please. It will be guest lecture from AIFC. Guest lecture will be at 12 p.m. Kindly.
Гостевые часто бывают? Каждую неделю? Да. Не считая меня, да? Хорошо. Меня зовут Алма, я...
Dear students, please come to London. We have a guest lecture, and it's on the negotiation and arbitration. If you are free at this time, I can guarantee it's going to be fascinating. All students on the undergraduate financial courses. Anyway, thank you.
Еще какие специальности?
Есть вроде права.
А у вас какие?
У нас аккаунтинг.
Я могу.
Да, то есть что еще про финансовые инвестиции. У нас финансирование. Бизнес и маркетинг.
Круто. Ну, да. В моей голове финансисты это больше раньше. Закрытые люди, над их цифрами, и все, отчеты, постоянно заняты, мало общаются.
Please come to London Room for the guest lecture on mediation and arbitration, provided by the AIFC course from Astana. Thank you.
А теперь ты меня слышишь?
него микрофон выключен.
Нет, ладно, микрофон. Хотя здесь было интересно. Я слушай, я в Киеве.
Вот здесь сразу так.
Слышишь меня?
Ты можешь затерпеть его?
Я микрофон говорю.
И тогда участвуй.
Давай все попробуем. Раз. Слышишь?
Какой?
Вот здесь.
Это?
Да,
А, то есть я должен вот примерно так говорить, да? Чтобы ты меня слышал.
Я отсюда просто не вижу.
А ты нас видишь, да? Вот тебя видит. А аудиторию ты видишь?
Он не будет.
Он не будет. Все. А вот ты, получается, нас видеть не будешь, ты просто будешь общаться со своим воздухом.
Он может переключать на YouTube.
Вот на YouTube я говорю.
Но мы тебя прекрасно видим. Тебя сейчас фотографируют, не отключай камеру. Ну, чтобы ты у себя в голове примерно всегда так видел.
Он видел, вы проверяли.
Я уже говорю, наверное, да, если мы фотографируем. Это, наверное, точно.
Dear students, last invitation for guest lecturers. Please come to London classroom. Thank you.
Кроме финансистов, кто еще здесь у нас? Any other professions? Huh? Designer. Oh my God. Круто. Who else?
Students, please come to London classroom.
У вас какие специальности, ребята? Тоже финансисты? Okay, I'll be the only lawyer here. Okay? А у нас есть для зала микрофон? Когда они будут задавать вопросы. Давайте, кто будет ассистировать, передавать, потому что мы прям кто-то будет этот. Потому что я буду задавать вопросы, и мне важно, чтобы они реагировали.
Please come to London now. We have a guest lecture session on mediating and negotiating life skills provided by the AISC Courts and Arbitration Center. This will be a fascinating lecture. Now we're about to start.
А кто из вас про МФЦА слышал? Можете руки поднять? МФЦА, Международный финансовый центр Астана. Один человек, два. Все, да? Хорошо. Хотя финансисты, да? Получается, он не видит никого, да?
Он может на YouTube трансляцию.
Он сейчас слышит, да? Андрей?
Ты подключился, да? Ты через трансляцию смотришь на YouTube, да?
Я вас вижу через трансляцию.
Все, отлично. Хорошо.
На телефоне.
А на трансляцию выходит какая картина? Вот это? Нет, а как выглядит это? Вот так? Вот как сейчас? То есть мне лучше. Ну, я могу, в принципе, сюда, да, обещать? Хорошо. Сколько рост? 1,85 м? 88? На втором курсе или на первом? На втором. Я на первом курсе мечтал быть высоким, а потом на втором курсе вырос. Ты когда вырос?
Я вообще
Да?
Я за 10 лет только 3-5 лет.
Ты со школы еще, да, вырос?
Я очень худой, как вес вырос.
Вот завис. Он звонил мне сейчас.
Классный костюм.
Спасибо. У тебя картинка зависла? Все. Что будем выступать? Да, на английском. А можно как-то его поменять? Да. Let's decide together. Whenever you're ready, just clap, and I'll start my speech. Okay? Thank you. Such a pleasure to be here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, guys. My name is Almat. I was born in Almaty. I hope that was the reason why I was named Almat. Now I know that Almat means success, being rich, popular, etc. So it's a pleasure to be here. Welcome. Today we'll be speaking about mediation. Oh, second, hi. Sorry. You want to start with like a welcome speech? Something like this?
No, I just wanted to welcome you and say hi.
Sorry, I need to say hi first.
Hi. Yeah, really, really good.
So guys,
Yes, I am aware. Yeah, just very quickly.
Привет. А он здесь?
I was waiting for this.
Брат, если нас слышишь? Слышишь? Ой. Брат, 2 раза моргни.
Guys, just give 2 minutes, please. Okay, a few more students.
3 раза.
And 2 more minutes.
Слышишь.
Hi guys.
Just to warm up, since only a few of you heard about AIFC, it's Astana International Financial Center. I think after this meeting, you need to go and check outside, read more, and do some research. It would be helpful for you, as majority of you are in finance, accounting, etc. So I'm representing here AIFC Court and IAC, International Arbitration Center,
two separate entities for dispute resolution. Okay? Mr. Adil Gazi is my colleague. He'll be talking about negotiation skills. We both work for the court and RIC. So hopefully you're going to enjoy this meeting. It's not a lecture. I'm not trying to impress you as a speaker. We are here to learn together. I'll bring some knowledge based on my experience, based on what we've been doing every day on mediation, how to deal with commercial disputes, and you may add as well and contribute to this meeting by sharing your thoughts, your ideas, okay? So why we clap in the beginning of this meeting, to show that we are controlling this event. Not me, a lecturer, being super smart, telling you smart things, etc. No. Today, just let's be flexible, relax. So whenever you have a specific question about mediation, about myself, about the arbitration center in general, just raise your hand, and we'll give you the microphone so you can share your thoughts, ask your questions, etc. Okay? Ready to start? Let's clap again. Thank you. So, certainly we start with appreciate first. So whenever you go for a job interview or you try to start new things and you're hesitating what to start with, always start from appreciation. So I want to appreciate the Montfort University for inviting us to arrange this meeting with you. And I also want to thank specifically all of you, each of you, for coming today, and hopefully you're going to enjoy this meeting. So let's start with mediation. What is mediation? Any ideas? Mediation, not meditating. Okay, please.
It's a bit unfair. I'm the lecturer of all here, so.
Oh. Good. Thank you.
Mediation has three parties. Does anyone know what mediation is? Three parties, usually three. Mediation has three parties, not two. Would anyone like to guess what mediation is for our presenter today?
Thank you. Any other ideas? There is no wrong answers. However, we've been somebody's recording us, so try not to make big mistakes. Okay? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Presenter. Our law students have just started this week. Does any of our law students here know, do any of our law students here know what a mediation might be? There are three people involved, at least three. So think of a court case, two parties, right? At least two parties. Okay, opposing each other. What does the third person do in mediation? Yes.
Okay. Let's wait for another moment when you're ready. Maybe take some time. Mediation, I certainly support that honored professor said. It's three parties, one party, two parties, so it's conflicting two parties, and the mediator, third party, who is absolutely neutral, helping them to find the common ground. Can you imagine any situation in family issues when the kids are in dispute and they're fighting with each other? Who would be the third person? Dad. In your family, dad, maybe, yeah. Any other ideas?
Mom.
Good.
Big brother.
Big brother. So you see, it's important that the third party has to be absolutely neutral. No favorite son, no favorite brother or anything else, okay? So mediation has different forms. They have a peer mediation. What is peer mediation? So if two of you have some conflict or fighting with each other, you try to solve this conflict between you, right? Not trying to put this responsibility on the third person. But as our professor mentioned, sometimes people associate the word mediation with law, like lawyers have to help us. When you have a dispute, where we go? We go to the court. We go to arbitration. We go to mediation. But mediation is specifically important to use when you want to control the process like we did today. If we would be in the court, you would wait for your time, specific time limit, when you will be given the floor to speak. And the judge will be deciding whether you're right or wrong. Whereas in mediation, mediator is just facilitating two of you to become more friendly, try to find new ideas how to resolve this conflict. Okay? So this is the basic thing that we need to know. It's just like reading and writing skills. It's very important to have mediating skills, being more peaceful. But the whole idea is not just being friendly with each other. Specifically, conflict can arise in any situation. So it's better to define how to deal with it. Okay? So there are some significant benefits of mediation that we use. First of all, the great control, as I said. So the parties will decide when to start and when to finish the process. Number two is confidentiality. Okay, what is confidentiality? Any ideas? Please raise your hand. Secret information, okay. If I ask you, let's keep today's meeting confidential, what would it mean? Keep it between us or among us? Go ahead, please.
Between us.
Sure.
Between us.
Okay. So let's guess we are in conflict with you, right? And Ms. Chana is our mediator. And confidentiality, according to your words, is keeping the secret. So we met with Chana, you, three of us, had a mediation, right? So can Chana share some information regarding yourself? When you had a private meeting with Chana, can she share it with me with the other party? What do you think?
Yes,
She can't. Why? So how do I find out that you're ready to support me or you agree or not if she's not sharing any information with me?
I should do it by myself.
Okay. Emotionally, you are stressed. You don't want to say that. It's your secret. So you're going to reveal your secret with me? Maybe. Good. In such situation, you see, we need the support of the third party. So Ms. Chana, as a mediator, will help us. In a private meeting with her, you will explore new ideas. Try to find the solution. You're not just complaining about Alman. Oh, I hate him, the way he dressed, the way he behaves. I don't even know the reason why. And if you keep talking, and Chana will directly ask questions. Okay? Try to understand what is the problem. Is it a dress problem? Or is triggering or reminding you of someone else? What is it exactly? So you try to narrow the things to find exactly what is the problem, okay? During this discussion, if you are sharing your secret with Chana as a mediator, she can share this share this confidential information. You know when? When you permit her to do so, okay? So during this private meeting, mediator might say, okay, sorry, what was your name? Rinat, okay. She's going to say, okay, Rinat, this information would be interesting to know for the other party. It will help to facilitate the process. So if you allow her, she will share this information with me, okay? But this is not, she's not trying to be a negotiator for us. She cannot share her own thoughts or her own idea, like, you know, Rinat, maybe you should just go and say, sorry, I think it's your fault. She cannot do that. She can only listen actively what you said, transfer this information with your permission to other party, and the other party is ready when it's ready. Put them together and try to reach the settlement. Okay, so confidentiality. It's a voluntary process, so parties can stop the process anytime they want, like in your life, right? Usually you decide, but no, you can't. Can you stop studying at this university immediately? Like you don't want to go to university anymore? How many of you can? Can you raise your hands? Only you now? Certainly, you have some commitments. You have to keep your principles, keep your plans. You cannot just suddenly change your mind. But in mediation, they are so flexible that anytime you feel any discomfort or you're not happy with a party, with a mediator, you can stop the process and leave the room. Okay? What do you think? How long the mediation may last? How long? Maybe 5 days, a week, a month, any ideas? Please.
Yes. Does any student here know of mediation, how long mediation might take? Any students here know? Most students are very new. My experience as a lawyer has been mediations can be concluded in a couple of hours.
Exactly.
But sometimes we adjourn mediations, don't we, Mr. Presenter? And we resume them later when the parties have time to consider and cool their heels and so on, cool their tempers. So you could take care of those over many weeks or months. It's really up to you.
You know why? Because if I want to have a deal with Rinat, and we have a discussion now, by the time he takes his lunch and comes back in the afternoon, talking to his friend, to his parents, to his wife, whoever, he will change his mind. So it's better to catch this right moment and in a state of his mind, emotional feelings, etc. It's really, really important to sign and to seal the deal now. Okay, so usually mediation takes around 2-3 hours, or they may be resumed in the afternoon. What else? So that's what I wanted to share with you regarding mediation in general. If you have any specific questions now or later, you can always contact me or my colleague, and Adilbek will continue with negotiation skills. Again, please be active and try to address all the questions together. I will be happy to hear your views, your thoughts. What do you think? How it can be used? It's really useful skill to use in your lifetime. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay. So, well, do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. So let me use my presentation, so it will be helpful for you to see some illustrations while I'm talking. Okay, and here I see my presentation and I'm waiting now, so it's downloaded on your side. Okay, great. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. I thank you really very much for your time, for your contribution, because you just came here. You could have a lunch now talking with friends, but you decided to come here and learn new things. That's why, thank you again. My name is Adilbek Aziz. I'm a senior associate in the case management department of the AIC board at RIC. And today we'll be talking about mediating and negotiating life skills. But one moment I would like to mention here at the very beginning is that I don't see you. So I don't see the audience. That's why please, if you're talking, you can just wave your hand so the camera will be put here in the box. So today, I would like you to select mediator and negotiating skills that you will use in your everyday life. I have a question for you at the beginning. How do you think, what was the last moment when you negotiated in your life? Any volunteers? I don't see you, so please assist me with the microphone. Something else.
Adilbek, can you repeat your question?
I don't see the audience. Maybe there were some volunteers.
We have a question.
Don't be shy. It's classes a safe zone.
Excellent question, Mr. Presenter. Thank you. The learned presenter asked us the question, when was the last time you negotiated something in your life? Now, think of it. A lot of things you do in your daily life that you may not realize are actually a form of soft negotiation. And I think that's what our learned presenter is getting at. Is that right, Mr. Presenter?
Absolutely. That's what I wanted to hear. Because sometimes people treat negotiation as something big. For example, you sell or you buy a house, a car, and that's negotiation. But that's not really true because we negotiate, we can say, every 5 minutes. For example, for all of you, the last time I think you negotiated was the moment when you were choosing the place to sit. Maybe someone wanted to hide at the back side of the class, so I cannot ask a question from him or her. Someone was brave and sat at the very front side. So it depends. You need to understand that every situation in your life is about negotiating. That's why you need to know how to negotiate so you will reach your desired point from A to B. So that's why, thank you. You're absolutely right. We negotiate every minute of our life. Now, I'm turning to the next slide, which is about satisfaction in the resolution of disputes. I see that you have the second slide, right? Yeah, no, you have. So, did you know that more than 90% of the disputes are settled out of the court? Literally at the courthouse steps, after months and years of preparation, people still prefer not to go to the court. And there are obvious reasons for that. The first one is satisfaction on the level of procedure. As you know, the court is very formal. You need to have a suit like me, the tie, the short. But in mediation, in negotiation, it's up to you. You can negotiate or have a mediation, for example, in Miami, on Miami Beach, on Santa Monica, somewhere there. So it depends on you. That's why people prefer less formal process. It gives more satisfaction in procedural terms. The same about the emotional and psychological satisfaction, because after mediation or negotiation, people can feel better. So it's again more preferable for most of the cases, most of the disputes. And the last point, but not least, is substantive in terms of outcome. Because you know, in the court, in the arbitration, there is a person or people who say who is right and who is not right. But in mediation, it's not the case. Because the parties themselves choose the solution, and mediator and the third impartial person just helps people to come to this solution without providing his own or her own solution. The same works in negotiation. That's why we can say that it's more satisfactory in both procedural, emotional, and substantive terms. Now, Mr. Gillive also already mentioned the principles of mediation, so I will just skip them and go to the things which are called ZOPA. ZOPA is the zone of possible agreement. It means, if you imagine the line, which is on the slide, I can see that you have the slide, right? From the point to another point between which you can agree. And there are reservations points. It's like walk-away value, the amount at which you cannot agree. You'll be indifferent to a deal and just walk away to your partner. And partner is the best alternative to the option that you have. So let's imagine a situation. We have two people. They are talking about selling a car. One person wants to sell and one wants to buy. Let's imagine that you want to sell. And your walkaway point is $3,500. You can see on the line. It is like the minimum at which you want to sell your car. And of course, the second point will be like any sum that could be provided by other party. It could be $1 million, $2 million. It doesn't matter. You will still agree because the walkaway point is $3,500. Well, there will be another person who can buy the car, but he wants to pay maximum 5,500 and no more. So you don't know this walkaway point of that person, and he or she does not know your walkaway point. That's why your aim, your goal as a negotiator, as a mediator, is just to find out this SOFA. And when you know the SOFA, you can bargain about the price, but it's difficult to do so because people do not say, like, my walkaway point is 5,500 or 3,500. It's your job to identify it. And now I will just show you how to do this. But before we do that, I would like to have a small exercise about the jelly bar. So I need a volunteer. If there's someone who raised his or her hand, wants to help me. Okay, great. Can I invite you to go to this, just closer to the slides, like approach the bar.
I'll do it just a second.
So,
Everyone is raising their hands. I need to choose.
What about all students that have?
Okay.
What about all students? Any about all students here?
You can choose the person who raised their hand first.
Just a second.
If there is someone, of course.
Okay, if you're not raising your hands, I'll point at you and you have to raise your hand anyway.
What about all students here?
Just kidding. Okay.
That's why.
Great.
Let's clap for it.
Cool. We have someone, have a volunteer.
What's your name?
I don't see anyone next to the slides. Can you just go to the closer to the wall, like in front of you?
Can you stand up here, please, so the camera can see you there? Just right here. It's fine. Yes.
Okay, so I see a beautiful lady in front of the slides. Very good. So we have two people. Great, two volunteers. Actually, I need two. You read my mind. Thank you. So, ladies first. What is your name?
My name is Anna.
And my
Donata, right? Donata and
Timur.
Timur. Okay, great. So, Donata, I have a question for you. Do you think that there are over or under 6,000 jelly beans
I think there are
in that jar?
I think there are under 6,000 jelly beans in the jar.
So under 6,000 jelly beans, right?
Yeah.
So what is the exact number of the jelly beans that are in the jar?
I guess 1,000.
So you think that it's under 6,000 jelly beans, and you can say the exact number.
Yeah, under 6,000 jelly beans, and I will say that there are 1,000 jelly beans.
1,000.
Yes.
Okay. So I have the second question here. Sorry, it should be. So do you think that there are over or under 1,500 jelly beans? It's a question for Timur.
I think that there are over 1,000 jellies. I think there's something little 600, 150, 1,500 jelly beans.
Can you repeat the number? 1,000?
No, I just saw that there's over 1,500 jelly beans.
Okay, and what will be the exact number?
I think that's maybe 2,000 or something close to this number.
Okay, good. Thank you. And now I will explain like your answers. This technique is called anchoring effect. It's when negotiator first brings the number that is not relevant to the situation at stake. like 6,000 jelly beans and 1,500 jelly beans, right? It's like two numbers which are actually absolutely not related to the number of jelly beans in the jar. However, it sometimes makes people think, to start thinking out of this number. When I say like 6,000 jelly beans, sometimes people say like it's less or more, and they orient themselves according to this number, and they say 5,000 something or 7,000 something. The same works with the number which is lower, 1,500. However, these numbers are absolutely not related to the number of jelly beans. And the exact number, according to the experiment that was made by Harvard University, is around 3,388 jelly beans. So when you use like this anchoring effect, you just name the number, which is not relevant to the number that is real. It's just the number that you want to put person closer to. The same works with this, for example, when you sell a car. We can look at the example here. For example, I would like to sell the car at least for 3,500. So I can mention the story of my friend who sold his car, which was similar to my car, for $10,000. So that will be again the anchoring effect. So the second part person will just go from $10,000. Like start thinking. That's why you can sometimes bring numbers which are not relevant to the situation, but will make person to go closer to that number. Did you get it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you can try this effect in your life. It could be not only numbers, but some situations which are not relevant, but helpful for you to persuade the person to go to a particular decision in his bargaining, during the bargaining. Right. So thank you. You can go to your seats. Thank you for being brave. I expect everybody to be thank you.
If I may add a few things out of
Moving
it.
further, and now I would like to mention the difference between positions and interests. I see you have this slide now, right? Yes, so positions and interests. Here, we as human beings are inclined in the bargaining, when we argue with someone, to use positions. We're saying our claims, our demands, our rights. We're saying the numbers that, for example, if we're buying the car, we're saying I'm not ready to pay more than $5,000. It's again the position. But the negotiator and mediator should go from the positions to the interest. You should ask why the person in front of you says a particular thing. Why did he or she said $5,000? You need to understand why. You go from the positions, from the numbers, to the context, to the needs, to the concerns of the people. For example, if the person says, I'm ready to pay no more than $5,000, maybe it's
Sorry, we can't wait. That's a perfect time for me to comment, okay? So the questions that we use in mediation are different forms. Open question and closed question. What is the open question? Open question, when you ask the male, for example, why do you think you're right? And she starts explaining why. And if I say, do you agree with him? She's going to say yes or no. So this is a closed question. Okay? So in mediation, we usually ask hypothetical questions. Let's imagine that he will say, sorry, will it be acceptable for you, etc. This is a hypothetical questions. We use open questions. Mediators never use closed questions because closed questions will not give you enough information, will not help the person to share. Okay? And regarding positions and interests, if, for example, Renat is selling his car for specifically for 2,000 tenge, no, $2,000, I would say, he will keep saying, if I come to buy his car again and say, come on, let's try to make it 1,800, he will keep this number in his head. He will never be negotiating this number. So if I go further, like
mediation, talking to him, asking, where are you from here? And what is like your third car? Keep talking and so bringing up to this different platform to dig deeper. That's what we find dangerous. Why are you selling this car for 2,000? Why don't you sell it for 1,500? Let's see, and you can explore. This is what we do during negotiation. And never accept when somebody says no. Just keep talking and talking, okay? And or if in conflict, someone is in conflict during when you're driving. How many drivers do we have here? Can you raise your hand? Okay. Who has drivers? Okay, great. So, it's pretty difficult to drive in Almaty or the other cities. There are lots of angry drivers. So suddenly they bring you to this situation, this emotional, these problems, etc. So try to, just being a neutral is not enough. So you should learn these skills, okay? Adile, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
The presentation is still loading, right? You can see.
No. I took this time to comment a few things. You can continue.
Good. Yeah. Right, you hear me? So, as Mr. White mentioned, you should ask open questions. You should explore interest of the people will not share their real interest with you because they will feel vulnerable when they share their real interest, their emotions, the history, feelings. But it's your job. It's your job to go and explore such things because it will be easier for you to negotiate, to identify the scope of possibility, to identify the best alternative of the second person, and just to agree with that person. Here, one of the biggest sources of power is best alternative to negotiate an agreement. It's when you have alternatives to the offer or acceptance in front of you. For example, when you sell a car, you say, I have different customers who are ready to buy my car, but I want to sell it to you. It's like a psychological trick. You show that you have alternatives and you are not dependent on that particular person. So it's your source of power. All prepared for the negotiations, for the mediation process, with preparation of the best alternative to your agreement. Now, we're moving to the active listening. I'm very sure that you are active in listening to me, to my presentation. I can see you, but I trust here. And here, active listening skills. I see that you have a slide. Okay, what does active listening mean? It means that you don't hear me, but you hear me and listen to me. It's very interesting that almost every language has different words for the ability to hear, like the biological, physical ability to hear someone and to listen to someone. Because listening is a conscious process when you understand what is said to you and when you show it to the person who is speaking. How can you show that you are active listening to that person? The first one is non-verbal communication. We'll learn what is that next slide. Use of silence. It's when you're just giving an opportunity to a counterparty to speak. Minimal verbal prompts. For example, you say, yeah. It's not really saying like a complete full word, but you shake with some, I would say, the sounds that you're listening. Reflecting the person. It's when you try to reflect what is said to you. When you try to paraphrase, refrain, summarize questions. Of course, open questions. Difference between such questions. Here, the main things that are disrupting to active listening. It's blaming, disagreement, prejudging. So everything should not be in your mind when you are negotiating or when you are mediating it.
For example, if you have a phone in your hand, it's also distraction because you cannot listen actively to the person. You are into your phone. So when you actively listening to someone, it's meant to just put everything away. Here, I also want to mention that people always assume that there is a conflict. For example, in the university, you have a class which is called, let's say, English language. And you submitted a work, it's an assignment, and the professor gave you B minus, and you wanted A, and you were pretty sure that that your work is for A, it's not B minus. But some people say, well, professor will never change my grade to A. I better not try. So you assume that there is a conflict. However, the situation could be that the professor just put B minus by mistake. And even if you didn't try to talk to the professor, you lost your opportunity. It shows that you didn't, your mind was not clear, so you blamed yourself, you were distracted, you are prejudging that it's not possible. So never assume that there is a conflict. Always go with prepared comes mind. You have your goal, you have your strategy, but you do not assume that there is a conflict. As I promised you, we will discuss communication. It's expressed with your words, like I'm doing now, but it's something that you do with your, for example, eye contact. It's not the audience that I saw the speaker and you show that you're the same. That's your non-verbal communication. You can show your facial expressions when you approve something or you want to disagree. Your posture, you use your clothes, open, your legs, body tilt, everything, like handshakes, voice tone. All these details are very important, especially for the people who are trained to notice such things. If you're going to negotiate with the person who is very experienced negotiator, he or she will definitely notice such things, and they will express such signals themselves. So prepare to show, to express what to express, because very often we have certain intention, but it lands with a different impact on the person who hears, who listens to us. For example, it usually happens when we need to remotely by email. You write to hello, dear someone, I trust this email finds you well or finds you in a good health. So you want to show your that you are kind, that you are open to discussion, that you will your respectful attitude. But the person who reads that message may think, do you wish me good health because you think that I'm in bad health? Or maybe you don't respect me, maybe you should have used different words. So we should be very careful with the words that we use, with the expressions that we use, because it can land with different impact. We have certain intention, those with different impact. So be very careful. Now, I'm asked to switch off my camera and then turn it on, and I thought that it became better. So, non-verbal communication. It's also can insult the person. Please be careful with it. Now, we're going to the questions and powers of silence. The question, open question, is the question cannot be answered with a short answer, yes. Was it a good or bad deal? You see this question on the slide. Is it an open or closed question? Someone can just volunteer, say open or closed.
Open.
Someone just answer, don't be afraid.
Can you repeat answer?
I guess it was.
Unfortunately, I cannot hear you. Why?
I guess it was a.
So I hope that
question.
everybody there is close. Yes, I see. It's a close question. Just explain why you thought it's closed, not open.
Because you can say all good or bad, and there is no why. That's why it's closed question.
Mm-hmm. Why? So it's a question that you can answer openly, but you give an opportunity to answer very shortly. So was it a good or bad deal? And the person who asked this question can answer good. And that's it. And that's a bad question because you didn't receive much important, helpful information. But when you ask, what do you think about the deal? The person is forced to answer something wider than just a good or bad. He or she will share their opinion, like it was a good deal, but I didn't feel myself good. That's why maybe I should have not presented the topic myself. Maybe I should have given the floor to someone. So you see, from this information, the health situation of that person, attitude of that person to the situation. So it's very helpful. Open questions. Always ask open questions. And now the silence. The silence works in person, in eye-to-eye situation. So when he's speaking, you can just become silent and not speak. And this situation just forces the person in front of you to speak, because that person may feel not comfortable. They want to fill the gap, the silence, and this silence will be filled with his or her words, information that you gain in this conversation. That's why sometimes you can just be silent, because we always try to speak. We always try not to embarrass the second party, but sometimes we just to give the room to speak. Now, some of the skills that you're using, the matching skill, it's not like talking to a mirror. You should sometimes reflect and match the body posture of the person sitting in front of you. For example, if the person sits openly to you, hands or sitting up, maybe it will be helpful for you to copy, to match the behavior of that person. Why that works? It's a psychological trick because we like those people who are like us. Because we think psychologically that we are from the same team. We are the one, and others are others. So it's kind of a technique that will make you closer to the person that you're speaking to. However, you should not be not every action of that person, because it will be noticeable and it will not helpful. It will just irritate the person. That's why use this technique, but know the limits. Do not use it. Do not overuse it. Now, I can see summarizing technique. So it's a summary of the thoughts that are shared by the person in front of you. Because sometimes you may not understand everything correctly. At first, I think you may not understand the way the person said it to you. You may not understand the real intention of that person. That's why you may ask open question. You may summarize. You may just turn 1-2 minutes speech of the speaker into sentences, and you will show proof firstly that you and the second one that you actively listen to that person. So it's again about the building rapport with that person, building trust. We do not negotiate openly, sincerely with those people who always try to gain the trust of the person and then negotiate, then have mediation. You can use all these skills, non-verbal communication, open questions, power of silence, also skills like matching and summarizing. And I also see that we skipped one of the slides. It's called empathy and sympathy. Does anyone know what is the difference between empathy and sympathy? Just use the microphone and I will hear you and listen to you.
Any ideas? What is the difference between empathy and sympathy?
I guess.
Right. And now I see the audience. Wait.
Will you raise your hand so we can see? Yeah. Can you see everywhere?
Yeah, I see the line. Yeah, you can answer. What is the answer?
I guess empathy is when you just understand the person's feelings, and sympathy is when you share his feelings. You agree with his feelings. Like if he said, you are sad, and in empathy, you just understand why he said.
Great answer. But Donata, do you need to be empathic or sympathetic in negotiations?
Empathic, I guess. In negotiations, we should be empathic.
Why not? What about frequency? Sympathetic.
Why should we not be?
Anyone wants to help Donata? I will help you. Empathy, as you rightly mentioned, is someone's shoes. Being someone's shoes, right? You understand the situation, you understand the feeling, but in negotiations, you are not obliged, and I do not recommend you to agree with that person. You do not say, yeah, I agree that you understand his or her position and interests, but you should not, it's not like mandatory for you to be sympathetic to that person. You're not obliged to agree. You just understand. And when you understand, you can use the right strategy to negotiate with that person. And there is a listening loop technique. It's when you inquire without judgment, without any assumptions, and you ask all the questions. What do you feel about the situation? Think more about you to this event. Why do you think that it's a fair price? Then you acknowledge the feelings, interests, and values of that person. You say, oh, I see that you feel this way. Now I see why you value this thing. Now I see that your interest not in the price but in something else. Then, and you summarize it with your own words. Just verify that you got it right. So you can use this looping technique, like from 1 to 4, non-stop, until you understand the infinite part of the second part. So that was the full list of review. It's not exhaustive. There are many more techniques, but it's what I can share with you within 1 hour. So I recommend you to use these techniques in everyday life. Thank you for your attention. Now giving the floor back to Mr. Nimai.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Internship, you want to perfect your skills in negotiation. Please, you have a question.
Yes. So this is to do with the purpose of paying faster to come correct.
A purpose of what?
The organization.
Organization.
Yes.
Yes. The purpose of the AFC core and IEC I'm representing here is to be an alternative institution for dispute resolution. So, for example, if foreign investors have some problems, they go to local courts. Sometimes they lose, sometimes they win. Sometimes they're not happy at all. They're not familiar with the law. They need to hire local lawyers. They're not sure whether they're competent enough, etc. So that's why in 2018 we've created a special institution with English law. So it's based on English common law, norms and principles. Our court works directly with the foreign investors with commercial disputes, and as an alternative to local courts, who will be maybe wearing a nice suit, sitting next to you in a flexible time, or it can be online, etc. And the third form would be the mediation, where the parties have a conflict, they let the mediator use our platform to deal with their commercial disputes.
Thank you very much. The question I have is with regards to asymmetric information. In one of the slides that APEC shared with us, we had the interest versus position.
Yes.
And in the case of arbitration or mediation, have you had experience where foreign investors have been given accurate information that might have led to bad investment decisions?
That's a good question. Certainly, for 5 years we've been working here at this platform. We've met several investors who are not happy. Certainly, there are different reasons for their situation. Some of them are not happy with the system, not happy with the lawyers, with the team, etc. For the bad, wrong investment decisions, I would say the other way, because we are here for good things, for the good investment decisions. So, whenever you have lots of money, you want to invest in Kazakhstan, in a region, first thing that investors ask, how I protect my rights, how I protect my interests. I have my best lawyers who are ready to represent me in London, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Dubai. I don't want to go to local courts with all respect to the local judges, etc. I don't want to go there because I feel comfortable because I'm a foreigner, certainly. So in that situation, we created favorable conditions for them to come and use our court as a reason to come. So when they're ready to invest, first thing is the rule of law. What's the rule of law? When everybody respects the law and in fair conditions, we will fight through our lawyers, and whoever wins, we will respect the decision or the judgment that was made. So that's the situation.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Any question, please? You were forced to ask a question. You just passed the microphone to you and speak.
So can I ask a question about you?
About me? Yeah. Okay. I have an interesting profile, so can you be more specific?
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked, what is your position in the company?
Okay, I'm a director of the case management department. When I turned 15, I graduated from my school. So when I was 20, I finished the university in international law. In 23, I went to New York to represent Kazakhstan at the UN. And I came back in 27 to work for Senate. And then I joined the team in Supreme Court to work with Mr. Wani as the chairman. Did my master's degree in the UK for LLM, came back, and now I work for the court. What else? Just enjoying my life. I'm so happy to meet you guys. And last week I just decided for myself to change my circle to refresh it, because the people who are around me are not interesting anymore for me, because every 5 years I want to add something different. Every day we need to add something. Wake up early,
avoid toxic people, toxic thoughts, try to be with strong, brave, smart, young people. So that's why I'm here today. So thank you. That's the first thing. Good.
My name is Stefan, and I want to ask you about how do you work with Kazakhstan with stock exchange?
Stock exchange, yeah. Thank you for the question, but I'm not the right person for this question because I'm a lawyer and I work focusing on judicial things, judicial system. The only thing I can say that you know that there's a exchange AIX that you can visit their website and learn more. This is specifically that you go through.
Okay, thank you.
But when I came here today at 12 o'clock, I asked the first question, who of you heard about AIC? And only 3, 4 people raised it, 5 people raised their hands, 6 people, okay, you keep raising your hands. Whoever heard about AIC? So I think this is something you need to learn. Since you're in this country, in this region, and the governments and so many experts and people are putting all efforts to bring this AFC into the international level, recognized internationally. I think you all should know more about it. But this is not my thing, this is not for some specific group of people, this is all for us. So let's support any initiative that we have here in this country, in this region. So I'll be happy to be with you in the same. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Advisor. Subject to the comments made by Mr. Agebayev and Mr. Kaziev today, thank you for coming, gentlemen. We must give them a round of applause for coming. Subject to comments that you might wish to make, Mr. Agebayev, I would say, do I pronounce your name correctly?
You can say Almat.
Almat, okay, but you know, lawyers are being courteous. My learned friend, okay. I would say that the AIFC and the IAC is really a landmark institution. I've seen the arbitral courts in Tokyo, Japan, in many other cities around the world. And I would say that this is a really unique institution with some of the best jurists from the British Commonwealth, a tradition that I come from as an Australian. I went to as a primary school, for example, attended by the Privy Council Sir Harold Gibbs, Chief Justice of the High Court of Australia. There is a tradition in our culture which is respected in New York, in Asia, in the Middle East and Africa, and in Europe that few other places have. And this tradition is now, with the partnership of the Kazakh people, being implanted here in Kazakhstan. This is an exciting time for your country. And even though there has been some recent news about the Eurasian Union, there are strong ties with Moscow and many other parts of the world that other institutions simply don't have. So you've got this broad strength here from the Baltic to the Pacific Ocean at the very least, and elsewhere. And with the guidance and with the providence and guiding hand of the court judges, the Lord Mance and other very senior and highly respected English and British Commonwealth judges, this institution offers not just judicial remedies, but as our learned presenters advised us today, other ways to resolve disputes that are cost-effective, where the parties are in control. Remember, with a mediation, you are still in control. With a negotiation, you are in control. And as I told my clients now for 20 years, judges will make decisions that you won't like and the other party won't like. Okay? And this is the advantage of negotiation. And this is what solicitors do, actually. Very few cases make it to court. And courts are dangerous places, actually. You want to keep your client out of court as much as possible, right? And judges don't want you in their courts either. They would rather have less cases, right? But sometimes you do need to go to court. So courts are not necessarily, despite what Hollywood might tell you, panacea. And so these additional institutions that the AIFC and the IAC offer us and offer you as the people of Kazakhstan in commerce with using English common law and the British Commonwealth traditions are an excellent addition to your country. Another tool that you can use in your array of tools to make Kazakhstan a leading economy and a leading place for investment. And the parties could be from America, from Hong Kong, but they decide to resolve their disputes here in Kazakhstan. Thank you very much again to everyone who presented.
Thank you. Do we take a picture or? Yes. Can we take a picture together? Just, or if you mind, it's fine.
We'll take a picture of the audience and us. Just take a picture from down there.
Oh, like this?
I think we have this.
Oh.
Can you take maybe from this side?
Oh, yeah.
We'll stand in front of everyone.
So you don't mind, right? Okay.
Students, please stand maybe too.
Yeah, maybe everybody was.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. And one more time. Again, smile, cheese, and shaking good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yes, I participated in a number of webinars. Thank you very much.
На foundation.